was really scared to come to Millennium and just felt like I couldn't hang for some reason.
Had you taken any classes at Millennium?
I had never been to Millennium ever.
Dance Journey! With Tracy in LA. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to my podcast, Dance Journey. Today we have, I feel like a lot of people have been waiting for this one, Danielle Celestino. Literally, I have had people ask me, like, when are you going to have Danielle?
That is so funny because honestly, I've been telling Tracy, I feel like I just have nothing to say. And then Tracy sent me a bunch of questions and then I was like, maybe I do have something to say.
Yeah, because she literally went through the questions and she showed me a picture and she looked like she had a lot to say because she prepared for this.
I'm a planner. I have to. I get anxious if I don't, think about things before they happen.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I'm generally, a very prepared person as well. But, okay, so Danielle and I are going to first talk about how we met, which is I don't know if it's a fun story.
I'm curious if we even have the same story.
Yeah,
because I was
too.
Trying to think of how we first met, and I think I know. I'm just curious.
Okay,
if I'm right.
I think it was at your class that you taught before last LA Unbound season. You taught one of the Unbound classes that were the couple weeks before Unbound auditions.
Yep, you're right. I got my own story wrong.
You thought it was Jess's class.
I thought
right?
It was Jess's class, but no, you're so right.
Because I think I saw that on your picture when you were writing notes of what you thought the answers were.
I think that's the first time we truly sat down and had a conversation was at Jess's class.
Probably.
And so I think that's why it's more in my memory.
Yeah.
But you're so right.
And I was just a random student in your class, but for me, you were an amazing teacher with really cool choreography, and I absolutely loved it. So for me, that was I really remember you because I was ooh, I like this girl Danielle. I like how she teaches. I like her style. And I thought that everyone who did the Unbound, so Unbound, LA Unbound, I've been talking about this on all the podcasts lately because I keep interviewing people that are a part of it. But it's an organization in LA where adults can perform twice a year and do, basically choreographers can submit pieces and you audition for a bunch of pieces and you're sometimes in one, sometimes you're in 6. And they do a spring show, a fall show. They're really well done. Definitely go see it or audition for it. And we have auditions coming up. I did it for the first time last season in the spring. Anyway, so LA Unbound also puts together 2 weeks of inexpensive classes for you to take before the auditions. And I thought back then that they always had the people that were doing pieces in the show teach those classes so that they could get to know people better before the auditions. So I assumed that Danielle was doing a piece for the show, and I was oh, I hope I can get in her piece. I just love her choreography and I love how she teaches and all that stuff. I remember getting the list for the show or even just being at the auditions and being wait, why isn't she on here? I was so
Wasn't on there.
And then literally just the other day, I found out Danielle told me that was the first class, right? The first adult class you ever taught.
Literally the first adult class I had ever taught. And it was amazing.
I was shocked.
It was great. There's nothing better than teaching people who want to be there and are excited to dance. It was a great experience.
It was, yeah. You seemed so natural at it. Yeah, I think I might have asked you if you had a regular class. I definitely assumed you taught before or choreographed before. I know you've done a little bit of stuff, but you hadn't taught adults dance before. And yeah, I guess it was a different experience because you have taught little kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so glad you liked it because I think you should do it more.
I would like to, but we've had this conversation before too about choreographing where I'm at this point where I like to choreograph, but sometimes it feels a bit laborious. I have to try this out and I'm oh, that looks weird on my body. Let's try this. And then I have to do it in front of a mirror where I wish it just came in a vision to me, but it doesn't. But I did really like teaching adult classes and that's something maybe I'm interested in doing in the future or trying to do more. Because I realized I teach kind of the way that I like to be taught, mm-hmm. and I think that would be helpful for other people too.
What would you say is something you care about when you're being taught? That's the way you teach.
So biggest thing is I really like someone that breaks it down.
Okay.
So yes, there's moves, but how does this move connect to that one? Where is your weight in this move? What is your chest doing in this move? So someone that kind of gets nitty gritty and goes through it slowly and then ramps it up. That's kind of what I like.
Okay. I just wanted to hear you describe it, but yeah, I did. I as much as I couldn't remember, I feel like you definitely like talked through things really well, showed them really well, and you went over it a lot of times, and you just had this like confidence and this like peace and this like a preparedness too, and then learning.
That makes sense, because I probably did like spend the days leading up like writing things down and like, this is how I'm gonna do the warm-up, and this is what I'm gonna say, and this is how I want to break down this move, and
It was very organized, and that's not always something that's like 1,000,000% important to me, but it was very helpful, and I just really enjoyed the class. And then I learned later that you were a teacher at the time, like in like an actual like a regular school teacher, and I was like, oh, that makes sense that she's like very good at teaching. But I totally relate to that, because like I love teaching dance as well, but also choreography. I like to make up choreography, but it does take me a good amount of time, and so I'm the type of person that like, I'm not going to say I'm going to do a class until I have the choreography already done, because if I just pick a date and say I'm going to do a class this day and like hopefully I'll get choreography by then, like I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I want to know. But so that's how we met, but then we were in LA Unbound together. We were in Jess Keene, or Danielle calls her Jessie, so we just call her different names. Because I don't know, she used to go more by Jessie. I don't know. Anyway, she's known her longer than me. So, but we were both in her piece last season, and then Danielle was also in a lot of other pieces. How many pieces were you in?
I did 5 last season.
Okay. And didn't you say you had a goal of only doing 2 or something, but then you did 5?
I had a goal because I had gone back to full-time teaching that year, whereas the year before I was on a leave and trying different jobs, and my schedule was a little bit more open. So teaching full-time, I was like, I think I can only do 2. And then you see all the dances that are shared by the choreographers, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I want to do all these dances, and it's so hard to choose. And then I ended up doing 5, and I think the max was 6.
Yeah.
So I think doing the 5 made me feel like, oh, I was kind of being kind to my schedule by not doing the full 6.
That's so funny.
I don't regret it, though. It was perfect.
5
it worked out perfectly.
Definitely a lot, but you did so good in all of your pieces. I always love watching Danielle dance. So we got to know each other through that a little bit, but then also Jess and Yari teach. I've also interviewed both of them on here, and they teach a Monday night contemporary class and switch off weeks, and so we both would go to that a lot as well. And I think that's where we had like one of our first, we were joking about it the other day, because for some reason I told Danielle like my life story one night, basically. Yep. I don't know, you asked me one simple question, and then I just was like, well, this is what I'm doing with my life, and this is what happened, and why I quit my job, and all this stuff. And like, I just remember yapping for so long, and even while I was doing it, I think I was having an out-of-body experience. Like, why am I telling her? Like, I just met this girl, and I'm telling her so much stuff about my life.
But I think it was meant to be, because I actually think I really needed to hear your story like, at that particular time. And so I think that's like why it happened.
Yeah.
Like, I actually needed that story.
Yeah. Which I didn't know at the time, but then getting to know Danielle better through the past months, like, yeah, she was kind of going through like a potential career transition, and maybe we'll get into that. We'll see. But yeah, so it's been really cool to kind of like inspire each other and like get to know each other better. And also Danielle helped me move into my new place recently. And I just can't. I owe her so bad for that. But that was fun, because we got to like chat during that too. And then tomorrow are actually the LA Unbound auditions for the fall. And the exciting thing is Danielle is so this is going to be your first piece
time
with them, right?
My first time choreographing for LA Unbound. I'm really excited. There's so many amazing dancers, and I'm just excited to have just a space where it feels safe to present something. That LA Unbound has created this space where you can feel comfortable to still dance, to still choreograph, no matter like what age you are, no matter what you're doing in life. So I'm just super excited, a little nervous. But I think everyone I've talked to that choreographs says they always feel like a little nervous at first.
Yeah.
So I think it's normal.
Yeah, I think so.
But
I think everyone, you have so many friends there. So, I mean, it's such a supportive environment, like you said. And I think there's a lot of people that have wanted you to choreograph. So it's exciting that you're doing it. And how many seasons have you done LA Unbound, danced in it?
Let's see. I started in fall of 2023. So I did fall, and then spring, and then fall, spring. So I think just 4.
4, okay.
Yeah.
And how did you hear about it initially?
I Google searched.
Oh.
I was at a point in life where I actually hadn't really been dancing for about 5 years. I would just drop into classes like sporadically when I like felt like I needed dance, but I was not consistent in any way. And then I was just really craving like a dance community. And so I just scoured the web and LA Unbound came up.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, auditions are happening in August. And I was like, I'm going to put it in my calendar. I'm going to go do it.
That's awesome. I feel like a lot of people I've interviewed have said that they've found LA Unbound through Google or something. So it seems like they have a good setup on there, a good website or something that pops up easily. So that's awesome. Okay, so that's kind of how we met. I also want to talk about the class we just took, which was Sam Nelson at Millennium. I've been doing a lot of interviews, I think, after his class, but he's likes to do a lot of floor work. It's contemporary. He sometimes has some crazy acrobatic-y type moves. And Danielle doesn't come, well, she couldn't come all the time because she was teaching. Now she's like a little more free. It's the summer, plus also she's like has a little life transition happening. But so when did you first take Sam's class?
So I think, I'm trying to think. Jessie is definitely the one who invited me. I feel like she's so good about telling people like, hey, take this class. It's amazing. And it truly is an amazing class. But I think it was one of the off seasons from Unbound, maybe even not this January, but the January before.
Okay.
And then I went during a break, or maybe it was the summer before. Honestly, I can't remember
just like
at this
holidays
point.
Or whatever.
And I just went randomly one time. I was so scared because Jessie had actually invited me earlier, and I kind of just would be like, oh, I don't have time. But I think secretly it was that I was really scared to come to Millennium and just felt like I couldn't hang for some reason.
Had you taken any classes at Millennium?
I had never been to Millennium ever.
Oh, okay.
So Sam Nelson was my first class
wow.
at Millennium.
What a class to start with.
Yeah. And then I remember going, being so scared, and then, wait a minute. It wasn't Sam Nelson. Hold on. Backtrack.
That's okay.
It was supposed to be Sam.
Okay.
I think.
Did he have a sub?
And it was a sub.
Okay.
And then later on, I took a Sam Nelson class.
You're like, okay, I need to come back when it's
I was
actually
like,
Sam.
wow. I'm like, how did I forget that?
It's all coming back. I mean, it was a while ago. So, okay, so your first time actually taking Sam's, obviously it didn't scare you away because you have come back since then. But what was your first, do you remember what you thought the first time you took his class?
Well, first of all, he is like otherworldly. Just like getting to see him dance and like be in the same space like feels so incredibly special. I think I was like, I can come back, but I have a lot of work to do. But I think I was just proud that I was able to hang because the speed that choreography is taught was very different than any other class I had taken. So just being able to learn the choreography and pick it up, I was really proud of.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can come back. Like I hung it.
Yeah.
I could do it. And I could just feel I was like, this is challenging. And during that time, my whole thing was trying to take classes that challenged me and not just classes that necessarily felt like I was doing a good job at.
Yeah.
So I was really in this zone of like, do things even if it seems scary and it's going to challenge you, and that's where the growth happens. Was kind of like my whole thing during that time. So I think that's what kept like pushing me to go back of like, and then also encouraging friends like Jessie definitely has been like, you can do it, and then now you're like, you can do it, and I'm like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, like that's hard to do. It's hard to go to a class, especially at a studio like Millennium or these studios that have so many professional dancers, and then you're like, oh, what if I don't look like them, or like, but when you actually go, because you watch the video sometimes and it intimidates you because you're watching like Sam's video or like a few of the people's that are just like, or even Jess's or whoever's had like a lot of experience with it, and it's intimidating. But when you actually go, like, yes, there's a ton of amazing dancers that are inspiring and maybe intimidating a little bit, but there's also like, there's varying levels as well. I mean, it is like an advanced class, but there are some varying levels. And so it feels, to me, the first time I took the class, I was like, okay, there are definitely amazing dancers in here. This is definitely challenging choreography, but like, I can come. Like, kind of like what you thought. Like, I'm like, I kept up mostly my first time. Like, yeah, there was some things that were a little challenging for me that I wasn't getting, but yeah, then I just keep when that happens, like, it just makes me want to keep coming, like, so I can actually get it and like get better and stuff. And so I've fortunately been able to come like for kind of a while now, like pretty consistently, which has been really, really awesome and so fun, and like so fun to grow in that. And now you're able to come a little bit more, and I know you're doing like a lot of different classes, which actually that should transition us. So yeah, if you haven't tried Sam Nelson's class, it's so fun. He's such a good teacher. Like, yes, it's kind of a fast pace, but he also does a really great job of like going over things a lot and also giving you like a little space to work on it on your own for like a minute or whatever. He's just a very good teacher. So
yes. And very encouraging, and very much like the thing I've really liked the past few classes that like my own brain has honed in on was just like classes as a space to learn. And just kind of like letting go. And that's been really good for me. I've needed that because I'm sure a lot of us, there's like the pressure to feel like you have to be perfect, or if you're not getting it, then you're not good enough. But that's not true.
Right.
And just like using class as a space to learn is something I've been trying to do like the past like month, of trying to get out of my head and just being like, it's okay to make mistakes because this is the place to learn. It's not an audition. It's not a performance. It's class. It's fine.
You're like, class is a place to learn? What a crazy concept. And it's like, I know there's like a lot of filming in class, but I think that's also a learning experience. To me, that's not like to get a perfect video. It's to learn how to dance in front of a camera, to learn how to like get over the nerves of that, to learn, so it's all a learning experience. And I forgot, we were going to talk about like the exact class we took today, because I will say that his choreography is always challenging, but today the musicality was so hard for me.
Well, it went from 8s to 6s, and my brain
crazy.
couldn't comprehend that for some reason.
Yeah, me either. It was not. And in the beginning, I was like, for some reason, I'm counting in 4s. Like, I'm like starting over like every 4. I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing that in my head right now. But so that was weird. Also, like, I didn't know how fast usually I can figure out the counts very easily in a song. And this song, I was like, wait, how fast are these counts? Is it like 1, 2, or is it 1, 2? I was just like not. And then Sam was definitely trying, he was helping, like he was saying the counts a little, or he was like clapping or something, which was helpful. But it was just the musicality. Sometimes it's like crazy floor work that's especially challenging. Today I didn't feel like was his craziest of floor work,
right?
But every once in a while it's like the musicality that's challenging, and today the musicality was challenging. But even when I was watching every other group trying to figure out the musicality, I was still like, I still don't have it.
I don't think they're.
But I was getting closer and closer. I felt like I was like, I almost have it. I feel like if he does around 2, I will understand it. So, but it was
the time to sink in.
Such a good, like, I get a little stressed when I start to feel like I'm not getting it or I don't understand the musicality, and that's a learning experience, to just get out of my head, kind of like we were saying, and just be like, you know what, I am here to learn. So even if I don't fully get it today, like, it's okay. This is a great experience. It's growing me. If this was like easy, I shouldn't be here. Then.
Exactly.
Like, I'm here to learn and get better. So, so it's a great class, to check it out. But transitioning, you've been taking a lot of classes lately.
Yeah, this summer. So being on summer break, I've been taking, I think anywhere from 3 to 5 classes, just depending on what my week looks like.
Yeah.
So trying to make it to Sam's at least once a week. And then I started taking Nico O'Connor's beginning jazz funk class, which
is not really beginning.
It's
hard.
Like it's a cardio push for sure.
Yes.
But just so much like laughing and smiling, so much fun.
Yeah.
He has the best energy. I've been trying to take technique class at Movement Lifestyle. I haven't been as consistent as I want to be.
Oh yeah, Caroline Diamond, jazz tech. I freaking love that class. Caroline, I'm so sorry if you're watching this that I haven't been back in a long time because of my schedule and different things, but I actually think that is a fantastic jazz technique class. What time? When is it at now?
It is Mondays at 12.
Okay. Currently Mondays at 12. Caroline Diamond at Movement Lifestyle. Please check out her jazz technique class. It's actually just so good. It is a challenge. I think it's called beginner now. It didn't used to be called that. And I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. And it didn't used to be called beginner. Now it's called beginner, but it is hard.
It was, it was hard for me. But it was good. It was like this amazing warm-up, amazing conditioning, and then just like focus on technique.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm at a point where like I still want to like improve my technique.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to get into technique classes.
Yes. Yeah, that's so good. So you've been sort of doing that. Jazz Funk with Nico, Sam Nelson Contemporary. You were doing a little bit of Frank Suarez.
I did.
Jazz.
Not as consistently. See, I'm so bad with my schedule. My hope is that I'll create this weekly schedule and I'll just stick to it and be more consistent. But I dropped into his class a few times. Also amazing energy.
She's such a good teacher.
Great warm up across the floor, which I love, and a combo. So that's been fantastic. I want to go back. I haven't been in a while, I feel like. And then I did last August start getting into ballet, which for me growing up, I never really did ballet. I probably could count the number of ballet classes I did growing up, on my two hands. Probably
That's crazy.
less. I know.
Because you wouldn't know. I feel like most people wouldn't be able to tell that.
It's crazy. But I was like, you know what? Ballet is the foundation. If I really want to keep improving as a dancer, I think I should get myself into some ballet classes. So I took a beginner ballet class through the PCC extension.
Oh my gosh. Wait, who is it with?
Catherine Round.
That's how I started ballet.
No way.
Actually, that's so crazy. I started ballet right before the pandemic.
Okay.
And I started through PCC thinking it was just, I actually talk about it in the first season of this podcast where I just talk about my own life.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, she helped me so much. And I went up levels with her and got really into it for a while. And I was with her for a few years.
Yes.
That's so crazy. Do you like it?
I really love it. I love that it's an adult class where I can go and I'm going to get good feedback where I can actually grow, because sometimes I'll go to a class and it's either too big or it's more about the choreography, whereas in this class it is complete focus on technique. And she will give you great comments and corrections so that you can improve, and that's something that I absolutely love. Is going to a class and I might not be doing something the right way, or I have questions. She's very open to questions and answering anything I have ever asked, and really learning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so I've loved it.
And she talks about the history.
Yes.
And I was on a journey with her because we started, I think it was now it's at the new Lineage Performing Arts building or whatever, but they had an old one, and that's where it was kind of Old Town Pasadena. I don't really know what Old Town is exactly in Pasadena, but somewhere over there. It was a cool space. We started out there, and then they were getting rid of it and getting a new space. So we had to wait for the new building to be built. So she was trying to figure out where are we going to do this. And this was before the pandemic. Then we went, we were actually at Unbound for a little bit, I think. Yeah. But it was it's kind of a small space, or the old Unbound studio.
That's right.
It's kind of a smaller space. And then we ended up at this church. They have sort of a gym sort of thing. And it was funny because my class was on Sunday morning. I do actually go to church, but I think I used to go Saturday night or something. But we would be coming in our ballet attire, and people would be going to church. The church bells would be ringing, and we're going into this one section of the church to do a serious ballet class.
That's so funny.
It was so funny, and there was no mirrors.
Oh, that's hard.
It was actually a decent sized space. It was nice, and Catherine Round, she's just so passionate, and I don't remember if she did this specifically there, but most of the studios, she's laying down the Marley herself every time. She's just so passionate to find us a good space and make it a good space for us. And to be honest, it was cool because I got used to feeling it because I couldn't see it, and I actually think it was really good training. And then literally I felt like we were there. I felt like we were one other place. It was so crazy. Then the building was about to be done in a few weeks or something, and then it was the freaking pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
And we were just we waited so long for this new building, and then we can't even go to it now. So that was crazy. Then she started doing it virtually, partially from her house and partially from the new building. So I did that with her for a while, and then I just sort of I got really obsessed with the New York classes virtually, and then my schedule. I got really obsessed with contemporary. Ooh. I still loved Catherine Round. I grew so much with her. I just owe so much to her, but I got obsessed with contemporary, and then my contemporary classes were conflicting with the ballet, and I was like, oh no. So anyway, but I love her. I love that you're taking with her, and her are you starting with her intro one?
I did. So last August I started with, it was the ultimate like beginner intro class through PCC.
Okay.
And then I stuck with her, and then I did her advanced beginning 1,
Okay.
and then her advanced beginning 2, and then it cycled again, and I started advanced beginning 1, and then my schedule got kind of wonky, and so I missed some classes, and then summer happened, and I've gone back a few times, but I'm hoping to get like right back on schedule.
Yeah. One thing that Catherine does a little different. Well, first of all, her intro class is so good. Like, she really starts you from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I never got. Like, I used to take class at Edge back in the day before that closed down during the pandemic. And I used to take all their beginner classes, but their beginner ballet class, for some reason, at the time, there was a really good teacher that I found at one point there. But in the beginning, when I was just starting, the ballet teacher, it was beginner, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember her walking by me. I don't even remember who it was, but I don't think she was there. There was a new one that I really liked there, but she gave me like 8 corrections or something. And I'm like, I have never really taken ballet, so I can't think about like 8 different things
Mm-hmm.
right now. Like, I would love to, but like it just didn't feel like actual beginner. And so I signed up at PCC, Pasadena City College?
Yeah.
Is that, or community college? Pasadena City College. Because I thought, oh, it's just like a community college. This will be like easy ballet. And then I and I didn't realize it was like at a studio. I thought it was going to be at the college. And then I show up to this kind of like cool looking studio, and it's so funny. And I talk about this in the first season when I'm sharing about my life, but like I saw the class before us going, and I was waiting for our class to start, and the teacher was just like so intense, and it looked like out of a movie. I was like, wow, it's like these people are like real dancers, and this teacher's like intense. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder who our teacher is for the intro class. And then it was just like her, like that was Catherine Round. And she's actually like a super nice person, but she is like, she really does like push you, which I actually love. But I wasn't expecting her to be our teacher. But for the intro, she really breaks it down. She starts you from the very beginning, which is exactly what I needed. And I think even if you have a handful of ballet experiences, like, I still think it's good to like get rooted back in like just really understanding the basics of it. And then she talks about the history, and then I started to understand like the difference between like Cicchetti and Vaganova, and she does Vaganova. And then something else that's different about the way she does class is she really kind of takes you through a syllabus.
Yes.
It's like, it's kind of hard. You kind of don't want to miss a class because it starts like easier kind of, and then she kind of ramps you up by the end of like the quarter or whatever it was, I forget. And then it was kind of like, oh, do you feel like you've like, it's not like an official graduation, but you're like, oh, do I feel like I need to do this level again in another quarter, or do I move up to the next level?
Exactly.
So I remember she used to joke with me because she'd be like, you told me you were never going to be able to be an advanced beginning 2, and now look at you. And I was like, because advanced beginning 2 was kind of like hard, actually.
Yes.
But I took that like multiple times and started being someone that people could like watch because I like, knew what was going on. So I really grew a lot with her. So anyway, I love that we could talk about her because I think that's if you're living near the Pasadena area, Catherine Round, definitely look her up. And I think she's on Mind Body as well. And I think she does have some other teachers now as well. I'm pretty sure there's like a few different people teaching with her company now. But that was a tangent a little bit. But so have you been taking any other classes? Hi, everyone. So I wanted to tell you about my new book, The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010. This is my very first memoir. There will be more. It's not like a normal memoir where you're looking back on your life and reflecting on it and writing a book about it. It's more like a memoir in real time. So basically, when I very first moved to LA to pursue acting, which was in 2009, I decided I was going to write these like monthly newsletters where I sent out actual letters in the actual mail to a bunch of my friends every month to give them updates on what I was doing with acting and jobs and friendships and all kinds of things that I was going through my very first time ever living in LA. It ended up being pretty humorous, and so I've basically gone back and edited them so that I could publish them as a book. So that's what this is, and if you want to be entertained and have a good laugh, buy my book, or if you just want to help me pay my rent next month. Oh, and you can get it on Amazon. The Tracy in LA Newsletters 2010 by Tracy Nicole. Nicole is my middle name. Also, there's a link in my Instagram bio. You can get it paperback or on Kindle.
I've also, for a while, was taking Diego Gasca's
yeah.
jazz funk class
At
that
Athletic Garage.
he was doing at Athletic Garage, which also just like a blast of fun, just like cheering for your friends, really good energy. So that was always fun. I went to that one during the school year as well, and it would like, I would come after like an exhausting day and I'd be like, can I really dance? Like, I'm so tired. And then I would go and I would get like this second wind of energy that I didn't think was possible,
Nice.
like because of Diego's energy.
He's so like fun. I haven't taken his class yet, but he's such a fun energy.
He is
I actually
really fun.
took ballet with him at one point, and that's how
You
I
took
met him.
ballet?
Yeah, because he showed up at the once a month. There's a free ballet class. I'm like just sharing all the news to everyone. It's called A Chance to Dance. If you look them up on Instagram, it's A Chance to Dance. It's like one is their handle, and it's through like the Los Angeles Ballet. And they do a once a month, like a bunch of free ballet classes. And he's the girl. Some of the girls that take his class regularly do it, and so he showed up like with them, and then I met him.
Amazing.
And then the teacher at the end, we wanted to take. I don't know if you saw this in my story.
I did see this
yeah,
picture.
we wanted
It
to
was
take.
cute.
We just wanted to take a regular like group photo selfie in the mirror, and I thought it was just gonna be normal, like you always would do after a class or something. But then the teacher that day was like, "Oh, let me set you guys up." He was like, "I'll take the picture with you, but let me set you up." And then he put us in all ballet poses, and so I think I was like on Diego's arm, like
I
like
love it.
holding his arm like a ballet with like a ballet pose, and I was like, "Wow, just met this guy, but look at us. We look really great. Like we're great ballet dancers
love
together."
that.
So yeah, he was really nice and fun. I'm sure his class is fun, and he's like gonna start a new studio
Opening
or
a
something
studio.
like
Yeah.
that? Very cool.
That should have, I think it's going to have spin classes,
Oh, okay.
dance classes, and yoga classes.
Oh,
if
that's
I'm
a
correct.
cool combination. All right,
Yeah.
I'm like spin. Oh, that's hard. I did
It
that a
is,
little bit
but
a
it's
long time ago.
fun.
It is fun. I mean, it's a really good
It
workout.
is.
That sounds amazing. So yeah, definitely follow him. What's his Instagram? Do you know?
Oof.
I don't know. Anyway, his name's Diego.
He's great.
Figure it out. Just kidding. Okay, so yeah, you've been taking a lot of
I
classes.
know. And then I've also, the last one too is doing Lolly's class
Oh, yeah.
at Athletic Garage,
Mhm.
Contemporary. And that's one that I would drop into during like the 5 years that I wasn't dancing. I would just like drop
Okay,
in. And then
nice.
every time after class, I would go home and tell my husband, I was like, I just feel so good. I should dance
Aw.
more. And then I like wouldn't go for months, and then I'd like drop in again.
That's how I was when I very first started taking dance. I would just drop in every so often, and I didn't get consistent until later. But yeah, Lolly does a really great class in the evening. What day of the week is it?
Wednesdays.
On Wednesday at Athletic Garage. I used to take that regularly as well. And at first, her style was like really hard for me because it's so like flowy, and she does a lot of like improv in the beginning. And I used to be sort of averse to improv.
Oh, yes.
But then actually I kept going, and I actually started to love it.
I love it.
I loved her improv. It really challenged me and helped me grow at improv. And then her style was particularly like challenging to me, and I started to really like it and just like try to get out of my body, like because I'm so just like, okay, arm goes exactly here, you know, and hers is just a little more like loose, and I think it really helped me grow a lot, and she's great. So
I
think that's
love
awesome.
that class so much. Always feels so good.
Yeah, it's such a nice, it's sort of like a relaxation contemporary, but I mean, it's still like a challenge, but very cool. So it's been, you were teaching like what grade?
So I taught 5th grade
You were
last
teaching
school
5th
year.
grade,
Mhm.
and then you were on summer break, so I had a lot of time to do dance classes.
Yeah.
But then now, well, do you want to share like your
I mean,
life
I
change?
can
You don't-
share. I mean, I don't have much information
Yeah,
about
not
this
much
life
information,
change, but kind of towards the end of summer, because it technically is, if I were to go back to school, school starts next week. But at the end of the summer, I made the decision to resign from teaching, which felt like a really, really big deal. I'll like have pockets of time. Like I went to go return my laptop to the district yesterday, and as I was walking back to my car, I started tearing up, and I was
Aw.
like, oh my gosh, it's going to be okay. You're fine. But I think it's more like grieving a part of yourself, because that was kind of my identity for the past 12 years. I started in 2013
Wow.
is when I got my first part-time teaching job, and then the year after that was full-time after. So it's like a third
been
of my life,
yeah.
which is kind of crazy to think, but also really exciting because I kind of get to tap into all of the creative things that I think I put off for a really long time. Like even dance, I hadn't danced for the past 5 years until I started Unbound. And then that's when I actually started going to more dance classes with friends. But in those 5 years before, it was just like the sporadic, every 3 to 4 months, let's take dance.
So how does it feel exciting that you're like, oh, I don't have to start school next week? Or is it like sad?
It's both. There's some things I really loved about teaching, but at the same time, I think like I wasn't the best version of myself, which is funny because I don't think my students would ever know the difference.
Yeah.
But like I could feel it when I went home and could just even feel it in the way of, you know, not doing all the things that I had done when I was younger. So all those creative aspects like dance, even just crafting, like I love to craft and I probably hadn't done like a craft in years.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to be able to have more space for that. But there's also this kind of nervousness with uncertainty of I don't quite know yet what path I want to take, and I kind of want just a little time to heal and see what inspires me. And I think it's hard to like sit in that uncomfortable stillness of not having a direct plan right away.
Yeah.
But I think that's what I need because I've been so go for the past 12 years that I think like it's important to pause for a moment, even though it feels uncomfortable. And for anyone who is go, like a pause, like rest feels very foreign and weird. But I think it's like exactly what I need.
Yeah.
So excitement, but also like nervousness.
Yeah. Well, we had a good chat about this when on my move day, we went to coffee afterwards. And because I experienced like a similar thing because I quit my job of 8 years and didn't have an exact plan. And I did not think I was doing a creative plan. Like I was taking a lot of dance classes initially just because like I had the space, but I thought I was just going to get another like 8-hour Monday through Friday like day job. I didn't know that I was going to do anything like different. I was taking a lot of dance classes, but I thought I'll just get another day job and keep taking dance classes like I was doing before. But it'll just be like something different because and that uncertainty was hard. Sometimes it felt awesome. Like I'm so free, anything's possible. And then other days I'm like breaking down crying. Like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Did I just ruin everything? Like what is going on? But I never really regretted. There were like small, like little pockets, like moments of being like, was that the best decision? But ultimately, like I never really regretted the decision. Like just because it wasn't for me anymore. Like I learned a lot. I think it was for me for a while and I was helpful to people, but kind of like you, like I worked hard. I did my best, but emotionally it was just wearing on me. It just wasn't like a good fit for me anymore. But sometimes I think it's okay to just know what you don't want to do, like, or what's not for you anymore. It's even if you don't know what is for you, just like, you're like, okay, I'm not certain about what's the future, but I'm at least certain that like, this isn't it.
Yes.
And I think that's okay. That's like a good starting place.
I think so too. And like something I've told myself too is that it might not be right for right now, but who knows? In 10 years from now, like I might be inspired to go back to teaching. Yeah. But I think, exactly knowing like I can feel it's not a fit for right now and I can feel like there's a path that's leading me somewhere else. Yeah. And a big thing that I feel like keeps popping up in podcasts that I listen to, and it's probably popping up because it's like the message that I need, is this idea of regret and not wanting to get down the line and regret that I didn't do something because as much as like I love teaching, like same thing you said, like I can feel that something's not quite aligned anymore, and emotionally like it was really draining and exhausting for me. But just knowing that I gave my chance to step away and try to become a better version of myself, and at least whatever happens after this, at least my future self can be like, okay, well, you gave it a shot. Yeah. Versus sticking it out, because I could very well have stuck it out, and I think I would get a lot of reward still, but I don't think I'd be the version completely of myself that I would have wanted, or at least to try to, seek out, that I won't have that regret. Yeah. That, like, I never gave it a shot. Totally. To, like, explore other things and try to be this better version.
Yeah. I remember, like, when I was still doing acting, I was in the play The Crucible, and there was this older woman who was a great actress, and I forget what role she played in it, but I remember, I mean, she must have been in her 70s or close to 80 or something.
That's amazing.
And she was great. And I remember chatting with her once and her being like, I just wish I wouldn't have worked at the bank all those years. She worked at some bank. She worked at, I guess she had like an important job at a bank or something. And I think she just stuck with it because it was stable. But she really liked the arts and everything. And I remember thinking it was so silly that she said that because I was like, well, like, you're acting right now.
Yeah, you're
like,
doing
your
it.
life is great. Like, you're doing what you want to do. So and now you probably have more money than you would have if you like didn't do that, you know. But she did seem to have this regret of not like, I guess not like quitting at some point to just really try to like pursue acting or whatever she wanted to do. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're giving yourself this opportunity, whether it's to pursue dance or something else comes up, or even down the road, maybe you maybe you'll teach in a different capacity.
Exactly,
maybe it will be
yeah.
dance or crafting, like, or both, or like maybe you'll come up with your own idea or something like, yeah, you just never know. But I think it just opens the doors. You're giving space for something new to come into your life. And I think that it always does when you do that. So it'll be really exciting to see what happens.
I know. I'm excited.
And so, yeah, Danielle doesn't always post like everything going on in her life like I do on Instagram. So you're going to have to just get to know her to learn what happens in her life.
That's very true. That's very true.
Or we'll just have to do another podcast down the road. But yeah, okay, cool. So it's already 40 minutes, but I do want to talk about how you got started in dance because I really don't know this story. I don't even know if you grew up out here. Or maybe you told me, but I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, so Southern California, born and raised.
Okay.
Been here
Where
my whole life.
specifically?
In a town called Arcadia.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not far from here
Yeah.
at all. Yeah. And I did the classic, like my older sister and I did the classic, like at the city recreation, like the ballet tap combo when we were
Nice.
little. And my best friend Maya was also in that class too. And then from there, I didn't dance at all again until middle school. And I'm honestly like, how could I have not have danced? Like, I think my older sister and I, we would do like funny shows for our mom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if Fresh Prince of Bel-Air came on and the theme song was on, we'd like get up and
Oh
like
my
dance.
gosh, I did that
kind
to
of
Fresh Prince
thing.
of Bel-Air too.
Best song to like
And then
bust
you
out
always
a dance
do like
to.
this move at the end, you know?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I danced with it. Me and my babysitter used to watch it together, and then we would get up and dance to it.
That's so funny.
So funny.
But yeah, during that time, I don't feel like dance was really on my radar. I was kind of into like acting and being in musicals.
Okay. Did you do
Was
that in
kind of-
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at school, it was really awesome. There was a water polo coach at the high school who would write her own musicals,
Whoa.
like compose the music.
So cool.
And she would hold auditions, and we would do it all before school. We'd have rehearsals, and then at the end of the year, we would perform, like at assemblies, like for the students, and then
Oh,
at
cool.
night for our families.
Nice.
And so I think I did that 4th and 5th grade. You had to be a 4th or a 5th grader, I think, to do it. And it was really fun. The first one, I think, was like Camp something, and the second one was, oh my gosh, I think the first one was Camp Pachuca. And then the second one was like No Guts, No Glory or something like that.
That's so fun.
I might be getting these wrong, but No Guts, No Glory was definitely a song in the play.
Was there some dancing in it too, or was it more just like singing?
It was very, very like minimal, like basic, like
Okay.
steps. I feel like step, step, arm, bounce, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fun though. That's kind of when I got started, was around 4th grade with like acting and doing like the school plays and then that kind of thing. And yeah, so fun. Such good memories. So you did that, and then, so when did you you said you got back into dance in middle school?
So middle school, we had a drill team. So you would like march behind the band and do drill.
Okay.
And then in the spring season, you would do dance and go to competitions. So you couldn't be a part of it as a 6th grader. But in 6th grade, well, for all the grades, there was a talent show. And so I feel like this was probably my first dance performance that I did. So with a group of friends, we did a piece called In Sync to In Pink. It was to the song It's Gonna Be Me.
Okay.
And we all had like baggy jeans, baggy sweatshirts, like had our hair like hidden in hats, and we were in sync. And then like towards the end,
Wait, were you wearing pink?
hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Then towards the end of the dance, we like rip off the hats, throw them away, rip off the sweatshirts, throw them away, and we're all wearing pink underneath.
I love that you couldn't start out wearing pink.
No,
that had
we
to
were
be the
in sync. 2 in pink.
2 in pink?
So in sync.
Yeah.
2. So we changed 2 in pink.
Oh, because you're like you're literally the name of it is like you're changing into it.
Yes, in sync to in pink.
Okay. Wow, that's so creative.
So that was like probably my first dance performance, like in the talent show in 6th grade.
Was it so fun?
It was honestly so much fun.
Oh my gosh.
It was great.
I wish. Do you have a video somewhere?
Well, probably on VHS
Yeah.
somewhere.
You need to digitize that, or we need to see that. That is probably amazing.
But it was very fun.
That's so fun.
And then
Now wait. Okay,
yes.
because it was your group of friends. Did you guys have like a leaderish person of that, or someone that came up with the choreography, or how did you do that? Or you don't remember?
I think we did it like together.
Okay, you just all did it together.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there was like a dynamic. Were you like, because I did a talent show dance thing like maybe freshman year or something of high school, and I know I definitely took it over and was like, this is what we're gonna do.
I probably was more of like I'll let someone else like step in, but I'll like chime in if I have like a good idea.
Okay.
Which is very much my personality. I feel like I'm an observer sometimes, and then if
Gotcha.
there's something like I want to say, I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh.
But most times I'm like, oh, I'll just observe.
Nice.
This is going well.
Okay, I was just curious. But then, okay, so what's the next thing then?
And then I wanted to be a part of the drill team,
Right,
which
okay.
you could start being in when you were in 7th grade.
Okay.
So I auditioned for that, and then I got in.
Now, do you feel, okay, I guess you wouldn't know the difference because you've only been out here. I was going to say, like, do you feel like the competition was hard? Because I feel like just in Southern California, auditioning for any kind of dance thing might be harder than, like, me auditioning for a dance thing in like 7th grade in Illinois or something. But I guess you wouldn't know.
I don't know.
Did it feel competitive? Did it feel hard to get into?
It felt okay. I also like didn't really have much dance experience yet.
Okay.
So I think it was more just like trying to perform.
Yeah.
And then I learned like as I was in drill team, and that's also when I started taking dance class as well.
And did they like encourage you to take dance classes, or is that just something you were like, oh, I want to go back?
I can't remember if I had asked my mom because I just had wanted to, or if it was also a part of, there were like tiers of the spring season when we did dances and not drill, where you had dance team, which was like supposedly the best dancers of the group. Then you had pom, which was supposed to be like the middle tier. And then you had like novelty, which like there wasn't any like clear indication that anyone said like these were the levels. But like novelty was like everybody else.
Okay.
And you do
Which
like
one
a
were you
novelty
in?
dance. So my first year I was in novelty.
Okay.
And so I can't remember if that's the reason I wanted to take dance class was so that I could get better, so I could be in one of the other groups. But
did it work?
It worked because in 8th grade I was on the dance team.
Nice.
So that was exciting.
So did you guys mostly perform for the school, or where did you perform?
So we actually would go to like competitions at other schools.
Okay.
And so we'd be like in a gym at some high school, and then they'd call your number or your group, and then you'd go on, perform, and then you'd get scores and place.
Oh, wow. That's interesting because it's like you weren't at a competition dance studio, but your school did competitions.
Yeah, and it was just regular public school.
Oh, very cool.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess there must be a number of schools that do this because you were competing against someone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We were competing against quite a few other people.
Did you guys ever win?
I honestly don't remember. It was so long ago, but I do have a very strong memory. So the first year when I was in novelty, we danced to the song We Built This City.
Okay.
And our costume was like overalls, a white t-shirt, and a yellow hard hat. And then being a 7th grader, you know, when it's like the stage you're going through puberty. And then we'd go to these competitions and people would call us Bob the Builder. And I would just feel like, oh, like I want to look pretty and cute. I don't want to be Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 12 years old.
Yeah.
Turning into a woman.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, I want to be like seen as like pretty and cute. But no people are just like,
Bob
oh, look, it's Bob the Builder.
Well, when you were describing it, I was trying to follow you. I was like, oh. And then I realized, oh, we built this city. And then you're like a construction construction worker,
Yes.
sort of, but like
Yeah.
that's actually kind of cute. You were probably super
looking
cute.
back on, I
Yeah.
was like, that is actually like a cute
But
concept.
I can see how, like, when you are 12, you're like, oh, why am I not? I'm a dancer. Why am I not wearing a cool dress or something?
Yes,
like,
especially when it's like the pom group got like the little cheerleader outfits, and like the dance team had like dance team outfits. And we're over here in novelty with our overalls and hard hats.
Oh, that's funny. You're like, I better get back to dance class so I can get out of this one. No, that's so funny. I kind of had a similar experience with choirs because at my high school they had like chapel choir, and that was like the one like anyone can get into. But then they had a women's chorale, which was like a little bit above, and they did some touring. Then they had concert choir, which was like the hardest, and that was like co-ed, and they do a lot more touring. And like, yeah, I did. Started out with chapel choir, did women's chorale the next year. The next year I was like, I only had space in my schedule for French, like French 3 or choir. And I was like, I don't want to do women's chorale again. I liked it, but I was like, I want to be in the best one. If I don't get the best one, I'm going to do French 3. That was my way I was making a decision. And so I put on my little sheet that like I would only accept concert choir. And then I didn't do that great at the audition. And I was like, guess I'm taking French 3. And then I got it. Oh! I don't know. I think I had favor with that is it called a director of a choir? I don't even remember.
I feel like it would be a director.
She really liked me, and I was so happy. I love doing concert choir. I did that for 2 years. But anyway, kind of similar, because you're like, it's like how motivated. I mean, all of them are fun, and it's cool that they have stuff for everybody. But yeah, sometimes you're motivated, and you're like, I want to get to this level or whatever. So I'm glad you made it. Did you get to wear cute outfits next time?
Yeah.
Okay. That probably gave you a lot of experience.
It did. It was a great experience, and to be able to do that, like, in public school, I feel like was a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then do you feel like you met a lot of friends through that too? And
I did.
So when you were in high school, did you know were you like, I'm going to be a teacher? Or did you?
In high school?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I changed what I wanted to be so many times throughout my lifetime, and I feel like this is also just me. I feel like I'm multi-passionate, and maybe that is also one of the reasons why like I felt like it was time to move on and do something different, because it was like, oh, I've been doing one thing for 12 years. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Like my mom always describes me as the kid who would like try an activity and be like, okay, I think I'm ready for something else. And I just would try so many different things. So, I mean, for a long time, I wanted to be a hairstylist.
Oh.
And then for a chunk of time, I wanted to be a lawyer. And then when I was in high school, I was really into wanting to be a forensic scientist.
Wow.
I know.
So you liked dance, but you were never like, I want to be a professional dancer.
If anything, when I was in elementary school, I probably more so wanted to be like a singer and an actor than anything related to dance.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, dance was always just kind of a hobby, and I wonder if it was maybe because I didn't like dance seriously at a competition studio.
Yeah.
Like I took dance classes to learn and get better, but I wasn't a part of a competition studio with like a crazy training schedule or anything like that. So I wonder if...
Yeah. And did you feel like you were surrounded by other dancers who were kind of similar to you, just like doing it more as a I mean, obviously you're kids, so you're all doing it as a hobby, but like were you around any other dancers that were like, I am like really going for it, like this is what I'm gonna do with my life? Or were you mostly around people like you?
Yeah, I feel like mostly around people that were dancing and they loved dance, but they were gonna go down another path.
That's kind of similar to me when I took even less dance than you when I was young, but I didn't know, especially being like in the Chicago area, or at least the area that I was in, like I didn't know that there were people that I didn't even know what dance competitions were. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know there were people that were like so hardcore about dance, or that there were kids that were so hardcore about dance. If I knew about that, I honestly probably would have been like intrigued, like, ooh, I want to like do something like that. But I just wasn't around it. So I just did some dance for fun sometimes, and that was kind of in school and kind of in the musicals and stuff, but that was kind of it. But okay, so then you went to college. Mm-hmm. And you were still out here, or did you go somewhere else?
So I went to UC Berkeley.
Okay.
And originally I was majoring in anthropology and going to do a minor in dance.
Okay.
And then I took all my anthropology courses and like loved a lot of parts of anthropology, but there was this one class, it was biological anthropology, and I just kind of bombed it, and I let that kind of like lead my decision. I feel like I was like, I don't think I can do the operative of anthropology. Like maybe this isn't for me. And then like after a lot of talks with my mom, I kind of came to the conclusion that I would major in dance and then minor in education.
Okay.
And that when I was done, I would get my credential. I would teach kindergarten part-time, and I would pursue like acting, modeling, dance
so that's
in
what
the
you were gonna
evenings
do.
and afternoons.
Oh, wow.
And that was like the idea.
Okay.
But that never happened because education took over.
Okay.
And then
Was it your minor still the whole time, or did it become your major?
So I actually did end up majoring in dance and performance studies.
Okay.
So I did switch it over.
But were you able to become a teacher with an education minor? Or you
Yes.
went to
well,
more
because
school?
I went to
Okay.
more school, and then I got my teaching credential and my
Okay.
master's in education. And then
Now, do you feel like you just started liking the education stuff like a lot, or do you think it was just kind of like, this just seems like the obvious thing to do?
So I think a part of it is my older sister, 2 years older, became a teacher. That's the path she went. And so kind of seeing her model that. And then growing up, we did a lot of volunteer work. So once we got into middle school, our mom did not want us idle. So she would have us go volunteer every summer. So I volunteered at a hospital called Santa Teresita over like in Doherty. And I would work in the daycare. And I loved it. It was so much
that's so
fun.
cool.
And then in my summers between the years of college, I was a counselor at Girl Scout camp and also loved working with kids. So I think it's like I always had this like naturally, like, I don't know, just I loved working with kids. It was so much fun. It felt natural. That's I think what I was trying to say earlier. It just felt natural to be with kids and felt easy. And so I was like, oh, I could do this. This is something that I would be successful at. This is something I could do on the side to make money. And I think I would like it, and I think I'd be good at it while I do all this other stuff. So that was kind of the thinking.
Okay, so you were kind of thinking I would do all this other stuff still maybe in the evenings or in the summertime or things like that. And your sister, is she still teaching now?
She is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she love it?
She does. She likes it. She's also at the point where she's a mom, so trying to balance that out.
Right.
But she's really great at what she does, and she's so good at making meaningful relationships with her students.
Nice.
But I think she also at the same time, like me, has like secret desires of like one thing she's always talked about is creating and starting her own cafe with her own recipes.
Oh,
so
cool.
I think there's like, as much as she loves teaching and she's also very good at it, I think she still has other dreams as well.
Yeah. Interesting. You guys all have like a little, were either of your parents like creative, or did they have a creative side of them?
So my mom, when she was in high school, was super into acting.
Okay.
Very into acting. And my dad is actually a really great artist.
Oh, cool.
Even though he works with computers now, and that's what he's done for like decades now, but he is an incredible painter and artist.
Very cool.
And apparently a good singer, but my mom said he will never admit to that. But TBD.
Have you ever heard him
Who
sing?
knows? I haven't, but my mom
interesting.
has.
Oh.
So
Don't draw that out. Okay, that's interesting. Just because, like, I feel like in my family, both of my parents have like creative, artistic sides, but I didn't really see anyone at the time, like growing up, like pursuing that fully. I think I was like the first one to be like, I'm gonna like go to LA and pursue acting, even though my mom is like totally a performer. She's always done the kind of things kind of like that. But and my mom and my dad both like dancing. Yeah. And my mom used to dance. My mom actually
She?
Yeah, she actually like she likes to remind me that she was like on point when she was young, when she was like 12, and she stopped after a couple years of being on point in ballet because I think she said she just didn't like to practice. It's so funny because like I love to practice, but I guess it just wasn't for her in the end. But she does like to remind me of it. And then my dad makes music. He plays guitar and like sings and stuff. So, and he's been doing a lot more of that now because he's like, they're all like retired. But anyway, just curious. But that just because you're in this creative season, and I'm curious what's going to come out of it. But that is interesting. So you went into teaching, but you didn't really end up doing it on the side, or you kind of. Did you do anything on the side that was acting or dance?
So
initially?
Yeah, when I got back from college, it was kind of perfect timing. So I graduated in 2011, and the summer I moved back home, two girls that I danced with in high school were starting a dance company.
Oh.
And it was a contemporary hip-hop nonprofit dance company called Evoke.
Okay.
And they started in 2011 and then disbanded in 2018. And
Oh,
for that
pretty
whole
long.
time, I danced with them.
Oh,
and
cool.
so I went into teaching 2013. So from 2013 to 2018, I was dancing with them while I was working and teaching.
That's so cool. And then what kind of stuff did you guys do, or where did you perform, or what was rehearsals like, or what was that like?
Yeah. So at first it started with them just renting other studio space, and we would learn dances, and then they would rent a theater kind of similar to LA Unbound, and then we would perform once a year.
Cool.
And then later on they were able to get their own studio,
cool.
which was amazing, and that's where we had all of our rehearsals. And then kind of in our later shows, we always rented out Arcadia High School's theater, which was really nice, and we would have our shows there. But very similar to Unbound, where you had people who wanted to choreograph, they would present, and you would kind of like rank the dances you wanted to be in, and then you would be cast, and we'd put on this show. We had coordinators. It was Jennifer and Justine Shu were the ones who created it. And then they brought in some other amazing coordinators, Harmony and KR, that were fantastic at hip hop. It was just a great experience.
So cool.
And for 7 years, I was like, these people like became family.
And were you doing, how many times a week were you like with them or rehearsing or practicing?
I feel like we always rehearsed on Sundays, and then there would be like maybe 1 or 2 other days throughout the weekdays that we would rehearse too.
Okay.
And sometimes I would like bring stuff to grade.
Yeah, and like
did it during the long rehearsals, because I'd be like, I gotta get this done.
Yeah. Did you feel like it was manageable for a while, or for that whole time, or were you kind of was it like burning you out a little to do like teaching and do that?
I mean, I just like at the time just made it work.
Yeah.
And I was also younger back then, so my energy was just like lots of it.
Like whatever, I can do anything. And were you mostly dancing contemporary?
Mostly contemporary. But I did do some hip hop too, because a lot of our group pieces would be like a fusion of the two, which was really cool. So it'd be like part contemporary, part hip hop. So it was a good experience doing hip hop.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
And that you weren't like getting paid for that, or were you a little bit? Okay.
So it's very similar to LA Unbound, where you would pay dues for the season.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. That's so interesting that you ended up finding LA Unbound.
I
It was
know.
like so were you like, this is so similar?
Yes.
That's so cool. So then they disbanded or whatever, or I don't know why it ended. That's sad.
Well, it ended up, I think, being a lot of work to run. And I think they were at a stage where they were ready to start the next stage of their life, starting families, getting married, that kind of thing.
Okay. And so then what, were you like, oh, guess I'm not going to dance for a while, or did you look for other opportunities at first, or what?
It's so funny. I don't think I looked for any opportunities. I think I almost like invited having extra time, like being so busy with work. It was like, oh, it is nice to like not have to be anywhere on a Sunday, or nice to like have all my weeknights free, and maybe I'm catching up on work and grading instead. So I really didn't seek out anything, because my focus became work.
Yeah.
And then resting in any extra time I had.
Makes sense. So was that ended, and it was that you didn't really dance until LA Unbound after that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And during like those 5 years, I would like drop in randomly, take class. But it wasn't until
And
LA Unbound.
where would you usually drop in and take a class?
Usually Athletic Garage, just because it was so convenient
close
for me.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. I was curious, because I'm like, you said you hadn't been to Millennium yet. Wow. So I guess that kind of brings us to the present.
Yeah.
But I think that was a lot of experience for you to do that all those years when you first started teaching, to do the company.
Yeah.
And then in high school and everything. So you do have a lot. I mean, yeah, like maybe you don't have like formal ballet training that you grew up with, but you were probably learning from lots of people with ballet training. So you were it was probably in your body, learning from them and like working with them and everything.
Absolutely.
So very cool. So yeah, oh my gosh. So good to learn about you, Danielle. I feel like there was just a lot I didn't know. So at this point, like, obviously you don't know exactly what you're doing yet. You're kind of, you have such an interest in acting, and I know you're kind of thinking maybe about that too.
Maybe, but I'm also like, I think I need to get myself in an acting or an improv class. Like I've never.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like as much as I loved it as a kid, like I've never had any formal training. Not that you need formal training, but just kind of like my planner brain, the same way that I like wrote down all my notes before this podcast. Like my brain is like, oh, it'd be nice to go to like a beginning acting class and just see what are the things I should be thinking about in terms of like acting.
Oh, yeah. Let me know if you find a good one.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm thinking about it too. But I used to take tons of acting classes. I think that's it's kind of like taking dance classes.
Yeah.
It's like you're meeting people and you're learning and you're growing. I think that's great. Have you ever, this is going to be one of my last questions because we're going to wrap up soon, but have you ever in all your time of dancing had any specific dance goals, like even when you were in that company before, or even just now the past few years in LA Unbound, or even with this new transition? I know you don't know exactly what you want to do yet, but has there ever been like a thing in the back of your head of like, oh, it'd be so cool if I could like do this in dance one day, like, or maybe it's just teaching dance, or maybe it's just choreographing more, or I don't know, maybe you're like, what if I was a backup dancer? I don't know. Is there like anything that is kind of in your head?
It's so funny because all the time that I was dancing up until like 2018, I don't think I ever really had any specific goals. It was really just like, I want to dance.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
It feels good. Like it's great community. And then I think it wasn't until my 30th birthday was coming up and I was just, having a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings. And that year I was like, you know what? I kind of just want to like quit my job and just like dance for Disney. Like just like dance and have a good time. And then I think that was the first time I ever was like, oh, like how cool would it be to like be paid to dance, like something I love to do.
Yeah.
So that was like kind of the first time I ever felt that. And that's something like I still kind of now am interested in, of like how cool would it be to say like I kind of like had a career in dance, and that like I got to be paid for doing this amazing thing that I love and just like creating art. But at the same time, like if that doesn't happen, that's okay too, because I love it so much anyway.
Yeah.
And I do think maybe even just teaching dance, finding a way to teach dance, because I know that I do love teaching. There's a lot of aspects I love about teaching, and I do love dance, and just finding a way to pair those together and finding like the age group that I love teaching most could be like something really great.
Yeah. I think so. I would love it. So cool. But yeah, now you have more free space. You can keep your eyes open for auditions for other types of classes, different things, and who knows what connections. Sometimes like when you have open space and you're making connections, it's like easier, because then people are like, oh, Danielle's actually free. She could do this, whereas if it was like before when you were teaching, it might be like, oh, we love Danielle, but she's busy with her job, So I think it just opens a door, and of course I'm going to keep praying for you that just the right doors open and you're led down the right path, and that it just brings like a lot of joy for you and for those that you're like serving and stuff. So, and I'm sure that it will, because I just think like when we're doing the thing that we really love, it's usually like that is usually the thing that's also going to like bless other people, even if we can't figure out yet like exactly how. But if we're doing something that is running us down every day, even if we are helping people, like there are times to just push through that. Yeah. But if it's been like years and you're like, this is just running me down, like I think at the end of the day, it's like, this isn't helping anyone anymore. Like, so I'm really glad you made the decision you made. Thanks. And that we're all going to get to see like what is going to happen. Yeah. It's exciting.
I'm excited too.
See, you had so much to share.
I did. I really didn't think.
Was there since you prepared so much for this, was there anything you were like hoping I was going to ask you that I didn't ask you?
No, I feel like you touched on a lot of it.
Okay.
It was so funny. I'm glad you didn't ask
what?
The question about like what are you trying to improve, because I like started making a list, and then
it got
eventually
long.
I just wrote, why is this so long?
That's hilarious. That's so funny. Some people like have long lists, and some people are like, I can't think of anything. And I'm like, well, hey, good for you.
Yeah.
But okay, I'm not going to ask you that. But since you brought it up, what do you feel is something, because, okay, if you guys haven't seen Danielle dance, and also because she doesn't post too much, but sometimes I can convince her to post something in her story. But she's actually a gorgeous dancer.
Thanks, Tracy.
And I know you're always growing and trying to improve things, which is everybody. Yeah. But like, she's so beautiful to watch, and you do have so much experience.
Thanks.
What would you say, I know this is going to be a hard question for you, but like what would you say since you prepared?
Oh, watch this be the question that I like maybe put a question mark for.
Probably. But what would you say people like generally tell you is your strength or compliment you on? Or what do you feel is your strength in dance?
That is so interesting.
I'm like I'm trying to think of how I would describe it.
I don't know. I don't feel like, maybe it's more like I'm in my own head, like during class, which I'm trying to be better about.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like there's things I notice in class that I feel necessarily good at. But I feel like when I finally get something on stage, when I've had like time to like digest it and really practice it, I feel like that's when it comes out where I feel like I have like a decent stage presence where I can really perform. Yes. And sometimes I don't get to that point in class because I'm very much in learn mode.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that I feel good about. That usually when I take something to a stage, like even if I'm not perfect, that I have like a stage presence that is exciting to watch.
Yeah.
At least I think. Because I'm performing, I'm not like watching myself, so I don't know.
No, it is. And that's a great answer. And I would have said the same thing. I think you're a very good performer. You're so fun to watch. It's like you give the emotion, you give your full self to it. I think I probably have like the opposite problem or opposite like thing with me is like I don't know, I give so much in class. I mean, you give so much in class too, but like it's because I don't have a lot of stage performing experience, class has been my performing experience. So I think I try so hard to get it by the end. I'm still growing a lot and learning how to perform well, but like I really try to get it by the end of class. But then cut to me doing something on a stage for the first time and I'm like, oh my gosh. I have all this like stress of like, I can't mess it up. This choreographer has this vision. This is live. It's not a video I can edit. Like I'm so into videos, you know, and I'm like, oh man. And it's like, even if I know it so well, there's a little bit of fear of just like, oh my gosh, what if I mess something up? And I ruin it for everybody, for every dancer on the stage, for the choreographer, for the audience. Yeah, my brain just, it's like not like, I know that's like a little bit like intense, but like my brain just kind of goes there. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's sometimes harder for me to put in the emotion, but I will say, because I'm just like trying not to mess it up or do anything obviously wrong. But I will say when we did Unbound season, you kind of perform 3 times because you have like a dress tech rehearsal like first in the day, and then you have the first actual performance, and then the second. I mean, it's a long day. Yeah. It's a fun day. It's a long day. And I only had really performed dance. Like I performed in plays and things and did a little bit of dancing in high school in musical theater. But as far as just performing a dance piece, I'd only done like one other time. So
you did so great.
I was just like really, and then in our dress rehearsal with the lights. Remember in Jess's piece and like the lights were crazy?
Yes, I do.
And I couldn't see at one point, and I thought I was running off to the side, and I was actually running to the front of the stage. I almost like fell off the stage.
Oh my gosh.
And actually Jess got a video of that one.
She
she took a video of the dress rehearsal to show us so we could watch it if we wanted to. And like, which was helpful, but she like, I heard her laughing. Like I heard her like giggle because I literally ran to like the front of the stage, and then I noticed I was in the front of the stage, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then I like ran to the side.
Oh my gosh.
And that caused me so much stress because like that wasn't the real one for the audience, but I was like, oh, what if I do that again?
Yeah.
But then so many people, like Jess was so nice, like she was just like, are you okay? Like I didn't know if you like, because I also like tripped over someone, so it was just a weird, we just couldn't see. The lights were like blinding us a little bit. Yeah. And then so she was just so nice to be just concerned about just like if I was okay. And I was like, but I like messed up your piece. And then Brittany came up to me and was like, no, Tracy, like it was the lights. The lights were crazy. And I'm like, sure, okay. Like I didn't even totally believe that. I'm also not used to lights. So I'm like, it's probably just because I'm not used to lights or something. I don't know. And Brittany was like, I remember her being like, are you like stressed about it now? I was like, yes, I am. She was like, no, I swear. It's like, it really was. The lights were crazy. They're going to fix it. And I'm like, okay. So then the first time we performed, I was still in very much stress mode. Like just don't mess up anything. And then, I don't know, by the third time, I finally felt like I could
Your
just like
groove.
sit in it a little bit and like be like, okay, let's get this emotion.
Yeah.
Let's like have fun with this. So I kind of wish that performing happened more often because I know I would get over it
Yep.
and like just start sitting in it more, just like with class. I used to be nervous when a video came out.
Oh,
When a
I
video
still get
camera came out.
nervous.
And I still do a little bit, but I think just because I've experienced it so much and so often,
Right.
it's like a lot less nerves about it. And I think the same thing would happen with performing, but I don't get a ton of performing experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to do Unbound again and be like, the thought of it's like, oh, okay, performing again. Like it's nerve wracking.
It's gonna be so great.
But I'm like, that's the whole point of dance is to perform.
Exactly.
And
To
it was
share
fun.
it.
The third time we did it, I was like, okay, that was pretty fun. I could see how if you're doing it regularly every season, how it gets like better and like more in your body to
Yep.
just be able to be on stage. And like, I'm also just like so weird about my feet on different kinds of floors. And it was hard to like not know what the stage floor was going to be.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, it's like sort of, I thought it was supposed to be wood, but it's like was sort of marley, but it was like a more
It's like painted wood, something like that.
yeah, it was like and I was like, oh, is this gonna work? Am I gonna be able to turn on this? Like just things like that. But I just think it's just with experience and
Yeah.
everything. But I don't remember why I got off on this tangent. I felt like there was a reason I said this because of something you said. But
well, because you asked the question like, what do I think is like my strength or what
yes,
people
okay,
compliment
yeah,
me
yeah.
about.
So back to that, yeah. Oh my gosh, watching you on stage because you were in a lot of pieces, so I was able to see like some of the ones you were in, like and watch the video of the one you were in with me. But like, yeah, just so good. I can see why you're put in the front a lot. Like you have such a presence. It's so good. And that's what really counts. I mean, I think people would care less about like if it takes a little bit longer for you to like get the moves in a
Yeah.
class or whatever. If they know like, oh, I can trust Danielle. She will bring it when it's like
Yeah.
performance. And I think you're that person. And that's why people like want you in their pieces. They want you in the front. Like just because like they know you have it, you have the abilities, and you're also like there's something else I want to say as your strength that I'm trying to figure out how to describe, but you're just like when you dance, it flows very naturally. It just doesn't, it's like the opposite of like stiff. Like sometimes I feel a little bit
so
stiff.
funny because I do feel stiff.
Really?
And that's something like when I would do hip hop, my mom would be like, "Oh, you look kind of stiff."
Well, okay, I haven't seen you do a ton of hip hop. Did you do hip hop in the last show?
I
don't remember.
did not. I did
Okay, I didn't
only
think so.
contemporary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What? I'm like, are you gonna do? Okay, we'll see what happens. But I'm like, what's gonna happen? We have auditions tomorrow. But okay. Well, I only have seen you really do contemporary, but you just you have a good way of like transitioning. In my mind, from what I can see, you have a good way of transitioning the moves into each other and like really making them flow, which is something that I'm like trying to get better at. So yeah, when I see you, I'm very inspired. I'm like, okay,
Thanks.
I want to like. I mean, the first time when I met you in your class, but then we also took Jess's class the
Yes.
next day or something like that, and then I started following you and Jess on Instagram or something, and then I saw you guys dancing together. I think that's why we started talking, because I saw you guys dancing together in one of Jess's classes, and I didn't know about Jess's classes at the time. And I just was like, oh, they're so good. I just thought you guys looked so good together dancing, and I was so inspired. And I remember I posted it on my story. I didn't even know you guys.
Oh.
And I posted it on my story and was like, check out the pros of the dance that we learned today.
Oh wait,
Do you
I do
doing
remember that. I do.
That's how I started talking to you guys a bunch.
That's
Because
so
you were probably
funny.
like, who's this girl that's like doesn't even know us, and she's like posting our like dance from Jess's class.
Oh my gosh.
And so both of you started talking to me a lot at that point, and I think that's how we like started talking more. And
That's so
then I found
funny.
out about the class and like started coming. But yeah, such a good little history we have with that only
Yes.
started past January or
I
something.
know.
But feels like longer. But anyways, Unbound is a great way to make community and have community and make friends. So
Absolutely.
as we have shown. So anyway, join on in if you can. And I keep saying the auditions are tomorrow. This is going to be posted like
Oh wait.
I'm like confusing everybody. Auditions are, what is the date today? August 8th.
So
Auditions are August 9th. So if you're seeing this after August 9th, which you will be,
hopefully you came out.
hopefully you came out. And if you didn't, they do 2 shows a year and you can come to the next one in the spring. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. And I think we're done.
I think so.
I was like, I didn't ask if you had anything else to say, but yeah, I thought that was great. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about Danielle. I know I did. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Let's see. It's obviously not that important of a message if I can't remember it. Oh my gosh.
Here, I'm going to take a drink of water while
You take a drink of
it.
water. Wait. Hold on. What was my train of thought? Oh, I know what it is. Okay. That it took me that long. Finally. I was like, how did I forget? I was like, what? And I was like, it's not, is it even as profound as I thought it was?